What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I did say in a previous video that today I'm going to be talking about the PES 2014 engine that news has been released. News has been, I suppose, released for the past week. We're just getting new updates every single. Well, I'm getting new updates every single day. I don't really know if they release the information all at once, and I suppose different media outlets are releasing them at different times. But yeah, today I do want to actually put all the information I got into one video and make it the most comprehensive video on YouTube at the moment about PES 2014 and the new engine. So first of all, we're going to start off with the graphics. I think graphics is what normally everybody's interested in to a certain degree. I know that the more hardcore fans are going to be interested in physics and all that kind of stuff, but let's just start with graphics. That's pretty much the most basic part of the engine, of the new engine. So the engine that I'm actually going to be using, even though you guys actually can see, by the image that I'm putting in the gameplay now, that it does say like Kojima's new engine, or the Kojima's like Fox engine. Even though the engine that, it's been rumored that the engine that they're going to be using for PES 2014 is the Fox engine, it's not. It's like a rendition, it's an interpretation of the Fox engine. Meaning that they're going to be using the Fox engine, I think, just for graphics. And they've created their own engine from the Fox engine that's made specifically for football games. Which, when I heard that, to me, I was so excited about, because if you guys give me one sec, if you guys give me a second, I'm gonna pretty much switch the gameplay to a video. As you guys can see now, this is a, actually I'm not gonna explain to you guys what it actually is. You guys can pretty much, you guys will understand, I suppose, at the end of the video what this clip you're watching now actually is. But this is like an example of the Fox engine. Fox, as you guys know, is a company that's, I suppose, related to the Metal Gear Solid franchise. I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. Kojima is the developer of Metal Gear Solid, as you guys all should know, but like what you're seeing now is pretty much the graphics highlight of the Fox engine. This is pretty much what the Fox engine can do in terms of graphics. When I honestly first saw this, when it came out on the internet, I thought I was honestly watching like a little trailer. I honestly thought I was watching a trailer for a movie about like a Metal Gear Solid movie. This is pretty much a trailer for Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, and this is now using the Fox engine. So as you guys can see, aesthetically it looks ridiculously pleasing. It looks very good. So in terms of graphics, if they're going to be using a Fox engine for graphics, I honestly don't think they can go wrong in that aspect. But I think what's more interesting about it is that what's more interesting to me is that they're only using it for graphics, which is good. Simply because for the Fox engine, if it was designed for Metal Gear Solid and PES are two completely different franchises, and they're in two completely different genres. Metal Gear Solid is more about espionage, stealth, and it's pretty much an adventure game, you could say. But with PES, I don't know, everybody knows it's a sports game. So them using it only for graphics is ridiculously. I'm pleased with that. I'm actually very pleased with that. And now, now back to the gameplay. Now we're gonna hopefully be talking about exactly what PES, what the new engine has, how the new engine, I should say, will affect PES in terms of physics. So there's three key areas they've been talking about in terms of like how the new engine will affect the game. The first one is the Berry Center physics and ball control. The new engine will allow for a larger separation between the player and the ball. As you guys know, pretty much now, if you dribble with the ball is pretty much stuck to your player's foot to a certain degree, which makes it personally to me, it makes it somewhat annoying It makes it a little bit annoying to, like, when you, how can I put this? When you're pretty much trying to tackle an individual or tackle a player and the ball is stuck to his foot, and it's pretty much quite difficult, unless you're pretty much facing him directly. It's pretty difficult to get a tackle in or to intercept the ball, to get the ball off him, unless you're pretty much facing him face to face, and then you go in for the tackle. So this actually, the new engine will allow, I suppose, a larger separation between the player and the ball, 3 times the radius of, PES 2013. Where concentration in tight zones is, I suppose, used to make tackling easier. So even though in the article it does say like in PES 2013 it does make like tackling somewhat easier, to me I feel like this will work in both ways, because in PES 2013, even though tackling is not that difficult, I honestly do, I personally, like, I don't know how anyone else feels, I personally have a hard time sometimes like getting a ball off a player when the ball seems to be seemingly seemingly stuck to his foot, even though he's dribbling with it for, I suppose, roughly about 5 minutes. And in the article they said that pretty much the striker now can actually tap the ball, or I suppose kick the ball to one side and move to it, go around the defender to the other side. But I'm thinking if the defender reads what the striker is going to do, you can actually intercept the ball before the striker gets to it. So pretty much when he kicks it around you, if you go into the direction, if you follow the ball rather than following the striker, then you can actually, I suppose, get the ball off him, which to me is a lot more. It's better. To me, like, it seems like a lot more realistic and a lot more enjoyable to play. And the next one is contact and physicality. Now, this pretty much means, I'm gonna put it to you guys in a nutshell, is like pretty much jostling, tug and pull. You guys pretty much should have seen it from the. If you guys aren't ever seen FIFA, like the FIFA, I think it's the FIFA 12 or FIFA 11 trailer, where they pretty much introduced the tug and pull, the push and pull. So I said it, like the push and pull mechanic, where defenders and strikers, or two players can now actually like wrestle for the ball or tug or some sort of like jostle for possession of the ball. That's pretty much all that means. But now, like, the good thing about that means is that physics will now be physics, rather than it being aesthetics, like rather than like being like let me just put it to you this way, rather than you using a drop of a shoulder as something like, skills will now be a key tactic rather than aesthetically pleasing, which means now in PES 2013, if you can pull off a skill and actually make it so that it's actually beneficial to your attack, or like beneficial to you in any situation, in any which way, that's amazing. Because me, I can't do that. I literally, whenever I pull off a skill, it's just pretty much aesthetically pleasing. I cannot pull off a skill in front of a defender and make it to my benefit in any in any which way. Even if I do pull the skill off, it pretty much goes into a position that's not really beneficial to my attack. So now, like, movements and, I suppose, how can I put it, dropping of the shoulders or movements, like all that kind of stuff will now actually be a key tactic in the game rather than just aesthetically pleasing, like I said. And the third aspect is pretty much squad emulators, and this is pretty much now you're actually able to control, like, now you can set zones of play, so your key players can focus on certain tactics in mission, like critical areas, which pretty much means you can pretty much make your key players focus on certain tactics and certain styles of play. So you can pretty much put like your strikers or your attackers can pretty much hold the ball up and spread it between themselves to open up the defense, all that kind of stuff. Those are the three main aspects that hopefully you guys should be looking at the images every single time I'm talking about any of these topics. But that's just pretty much, if you like, even though formations is still the key to success, this is going to be a little bit of a twist, thus making it, even though if you do have the right formation, somebody, like, even though you, like, I don't want to say a better formation than your position, because there aren't really any obvious better formation, because it all depends on your style of play. But if you have a formation that works, that counteracts your opposition's formation, if he has if his zones of play are, I suppose, made so that they counteract your formation, there is a more likely chance that he will create more chances than you will, which is, it's good. It just pretty much adds a new element, a whole different element to tactics. So if any of you tactic junkies out there, this should this should be your this should be to your liking. So yeah, like, those were the three main points they were talking about, and I'll just pretty much put a little screenshot here. This is how they've been pretty much creating the faces. They used Kei Masuda, who's a lead developer at Konami. They used him as the model, as you guys can see, and if you guys can tell from which one is the, if you guys can tell between which one is the graphically animated face and the real life face of Kei Masuda, then props to you, because the first time I saw it, they look pretty much identical, and my eyesight is not even bad. So yeah, in terms of, and now I'm just gonna pretty much go to licensing, all that kind of stuff. I will be talking about more. I will make another video, like the next video will pretty much be my wish list. So I'm gonna be talking about like this kind of, I'll be talking talking about this section of the video more in depth in that video. But I just pretty much want to touch upon two, a few quick things in terms of, like, what they're going to be doing in the game itself, like features, modes, all that kind of stuff. So in terms of licensing, the Premier Division, the League One, and the Eredivisie should all, remain fully licensed. The Serie A, while all Serie A teams, should be individually licensed, which is a good thing, because not all Serie A teams are licensed in, I suppose, the current game. Most of the English Premier League teams will be fake, as long as, I suppose, that league maintains its license and its contract with EA Sports. Yeah, it sucks. Yes, yeah. I mean, who doesn't want the Premier League? I don't really know. I mean, like a couple of years ago, I would have said it is the best league to watch in terms of football because it's always entertaining. I don't really know anymore because it's starting to. Personally, to me, I live in England. Like I also live in England, so like me saying this, I suppose it's maybe a bit blasphemous to you British football fans, but I'm not feeling the Premier League anymore. It's good, but it lost something. It lost a certain edge. I don't really know if money's got to do with anything now that teams are just buying any which player that they I suppose want. Like no one's out of reach. There isn't any more that feel that teams have to I suppose build the squad rather than you just buy players. You just add on more skill and more talent to your squad. So I don't really know if money has somewhat dumbed it down for me, but I'm not feeling the Premier League as much as I used to. But nevertheless, everybody still wants the Premier League license because it's still it still is like a huge attraction. And the Bundesliga. Sorry about that. Actually, no. But they did say actually that another team, including Manchester United, should get licensed. But I doubt it's going to be any it's not going to be Arsenal. It's not going to be Aston Villa. It's not going to be Chelsea. It's not going to be Fulham. It's not going to be Everton. It's not going to be Newcastle and Man City. And I think it's not going to be any of those teams. It's not going to be I did say Tottenham, right? It's not going to be any of those teams because they all have individual contracts with EA Sports. EA Sports is it's a bitch. I think rather than. The German Bundesliga will remain absent apart from 2 team licenses because they also have, EA deals. I suppose EA is just cracking down on every single league. I'm not gonna be surprised if EA somewhat license league and the French league, the Premier Division. They're gonna start cracking down on a lot more leagues, I think, man. Because this is it's a bit of a joke how they all have. It's a video game, and it's a bit joke how EA has literally licensed and pretty much held down all these leagues and said that they can't be licensed in any other football game simulations, even though I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to make their game, I suppose, the most attractive. They're trying to make their game the most attractive game out there in terms of the genre, and that's fair. I suppose that's their duty. They do get paid to make the best football game, but I don't know, man. It seems a bit cheap to me. It just seems a bit cheap to me, and a lot of people do actually dislike PES for its lack of licensing, and it seems like it's working. EA are licensing these leagues, to say, so that everybody purchases their game only and not other games, and a lot of people purchase their game simply because they have these licenses. So it is working for them, but it is a bitch. And seeing that Konami actually has a huge success in South America, and this can be just proven if you just type in PES 2014 on YouTube. The first 10 videos that are gonna come up are gonna be Latin American guys pretty much talking about PES 2014, which is interesting. I don't think I've seen a review or a in-depth breakdown of PES 2014 and the new engine in, I suppose, an English-speaking language, which just to me, all that proves is that PES has a lot more of a rabid fan base in Latin America than it does in Europe. So with that being said, now they actually want to incorporate more leagues. I think the Argentinian is alright. I think they're gonna add I think the one they were talking about the most is the Argentinian one, which is which was actually rumored for PES 2014, but Konami said that they failed to get the team's licenses. The Argentinian league was supposed to be in PES 2013, I should say. It was rumored to be in PES 2013, but Konami did say that they did fail to get all the licenses out, in time for the game's release. So maybe it's more than likely it is going to be in next year's game. And also there'll be a number of Brazilian stadiums in the game, all that kind of stuff. In terms of modes, the league offline and league offline community modes are likely to return. The league and offline community modes, I should say, not the league offline. The league and offline community modes are likely to return after all the negative response it actually got from being absent in PES 2013, which is, I don't know, it was funny to see. Konami left it out, and then they pretty much just got completely and utterly hammered by PES fans and Boots. Okay, actually no, I'll keep that bit for last because I'm gonna go more in depth into that in the next video, because I did say that I did say that this part of the video I'm gonna go more in depth into it, because I'm gonna make another video just pretty much explaining my wish list of PES 2014 and how I think the game should be. and there's a reason why I'm going to be doing that, and I'll explain to you guys, why I'm going to be doing that video, at the end of this video. But also the editing, apparently the editing, the editing system, the edit mode is going to get it's pretty much going to get overhauled. It's pretty much going to be completely done, which is good, I think, because there are a few issues in the edit mode. Like there are, I suppose, a limit, there's a gauge in terms of how much slots of for graphics, such as emblems and kits that you can have in edit mode, which completely and utterly sucks. A lot of people, that's why if you guys downloaded the 3.1 the v3.1 patch, you guys would have seen that the championship, that the league, that the championship, each team did not have its individual badge. It just had pretty much a championship logo. And that's simply because PES for a while now has had a limit on how much graphics you can have in the game. But once they overhauled the whole new edit mode, it shouldn't, which is great. Well, to me, it's great anyway, because it means now that if we add, a lot more leagues can be added in terms of when it comes to patches, which is great to me. And yeah, a lot more leagues, a lot more badges, a lot more everything, pretty much, which is, to me, it's not a bad thing. Let's just put it that way. It's not a bad thing. And yeah, last thing before I explain to you guys why I'm going to be doing the video in the next couple of days. Boots, the boot boosting, or as I like to call it, Merlin's Creps. The magic boost, the boost that you can equip that gives your players individual stats a boost. I should say, they're pretty much gonna get completely. I suppose it's almost guaranteed that they're gonna get completely removed in the next in PES 2014, which to me is a completely and utterly great thing. Those boots have absolutely nothing to do with football. The PES and Konami tried to create the best and the most authentic football simulator. I don't really know of any boosts that actually give your player a boost in stats in real life, because if there was, I'll be buying those boosts right now, because maybe there's a time where, I suppose, maybe if I'm late for class or something, I need to run, I suppose, that much faster or something, then I might as well equip those boots on, I suppose. But yeah, you guys get the gist. I'm not a fan of those boosts because they do kind of take away from the authenticity of the game. And now that they're pretty much everything but confirmed that they're not going to be in the next game, I think, to me, like, in all honesty, that's the best news I've heard so far. And I know that's pretty much a bit of a shock, because I said that there's going to be more licenses, it's going to be the physics is going to get changed, the graphics is going to be ridiculously improved, as you guys pretty much saw from that little trailer I showed you guys of Metal Gear Ground Zero. Yeah, but to me, out of all of that, I think the fact that the boots are not going to be there in next year's game is definitely the best part about the whole. The best part about the whole thing, I suppose. In the last bit, there's a reason why I'm going to be making like my own little wish list for PES 2014 and for PES's future, and that's simply because a lot of the people, like, not a lot of people, but there has been a lot more of integration between Konami and the community now, because one specific individual who was very heavily I suppose into, or very heavily in contact with the community, who did a lot for the game, whether it be marketing, reviews, and also also helping with patches. He is now the Konami EU community manager, and this individual is a huge PES fan. He watches videos, he watches YouTube videos, he plays the game. He's a true fan of the game, and he says he's going to continue doing everything, he's pretty much going to be continuing to do everything, like watching videos, talking to people, keeping in contact with the community. And this is a good thing. This is why I'm making the wish list, because if he's going to be actually, still, even he said himself, he wants actually people to give him feedback as into, as to what, they would like to see in the next game or in future games. So with him saying that, then I am definitely going to take this, I'm going to take this opportunity and run with it, simply because I do feel like, there are a few things that PES can improve on, and that's pretty much why I'm making a wish list. You guys can also, in the comments, in the next video, hopefully, put down in the comments what you guys would like to see from PES, and then hopefully maybe I'll send him the video via Twitter or something. And he did say he's going to be looking at videos, and he did say actually wants people to send him videos. So then maybe if he does see a good idea or a good recommendation from either me or one of you guys, then he might actually implement it in future games or the next game, hopefully. So yeah, that's why I'm pretty much going to be doing. That's why I pretty much want to do my own little wish list. So hopefully that was hopefully I'm hoping this was the most in-depth, I suppose, the most in-depth video for PES 2014 and the new engine. Like I said, it's pretty much going to be tackling the physics. It's a rendition of the Fox engine. It's not the Fox engine. It's only using the Fox engine for graphics, which is something which is absolutely great, because they're gonna be making an engine that's specifically made for football games, which is awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if I missed something, or let me know if you guys know any more information about, I suppose, the new engine or about the new game in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.
I'm in front of the prison camp.
Excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
Kept you waiting, huh?